Hey guys, it's Nick Ferris from the Racing Rejects, and today I just want to give you a little update on some of the projects I've been working on the past couple of weeks. First up is this Dodge 360. It's actually the Mopar 360 crate motor. It was the 380 horse Magnum version, and what it was basically just a stock Magnum with a big lumpy cam and a M1 single plane intake. This motor was in my 71 Demon when I bought it, and when I tore the car apart, I took the motor out and put it in my 89 Dodge W250. I had a mishap with it. I had a little overheating issue and blew a head gasket, and when I got it tore apart, of course it had Magnum heads on it, and if you don't know anything about small block Mopars, the newer style Magnum heads are known for cracking in the valve seats, especially after they've been overheated. And I noticed the cracking, and so I went ahead and got these. This is a head made from a company in Australia named Engine Quest, and they're a really good head. They don't crack, and they actually outflow the Magnum a good bit. And these, I did a little porting to them just to mainly clean up the intake around the valve and everything, and did a little light porting on the exhausts and cleaned up the valve seat and everything on them. So nothing too extensive, because this truck is going to be an off-road rig, you know, adventure style truck. So I want some good low end torque. I put the stock cam back in it, and I'm going with this LA Performer 360 intake. And these heads, these Engine Quest heads, you can get them drilled for the LA intakes. So that's another reason why I went with these heads. You can get them both ways, but since I had this intake, I went ahead and did the LA style intake. But the real purpose of this video is to show you what's behind me here, and it kind of goes along with my last video. So this is the 727 that came out of my 1967 Dodge D100, and if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It'll tell you everything you need to know about why this looks like it does. So while I got this thing apart, of course I'm swapping everything over to my new case that I got off of eBay, and I decided to do an upgrade. So this transmission, it has a manual valve body, and it's the older style, which you can still get them, but most people don't run them anymore. They don't engine brake in first gear. They don't apply the band for their low gear. And so what happens whenever they don't apply that low band, sometimes, like if you're doing a burnout in first gear and you roll out of the water box and maybe your tires grab, or maybe you're slowing down, and since it's not engine braking, you are in low gear and you try to get back on the truck and it won't do anything, and then all of a sudden it'll just jerk. When something like that happens, a lot of times in this Spragg here, it's a one-way clutch, and it hits this really hard. And there's little fingers that hold these rollers in here, and it'll bend those fingers down, which makes this Spragg fail. And when that fails, this front hub, whenever you're turning this, it's actually turning twice as fast as what it should be turning. And the stock ones are rated for like 9,000 RPM. So whenever you're at 4,500 RPM, it's turning 9,000, and it blows up and puts shrapnel into your foot. The ideal thing is to have a valve body which engine brakes in first gear. That's normally 9 times out of 10 going to stop anything that happens with your Spragg, but mine doesn't have that. I'm not putting down $500 for another one. I wish whoever built this transmission would have put one in it, but they didn't. So another thing you can do is put either a good steel drum with a front drum, or if you're racing, you can do an aluminum one, but they tend to wear out on the street. But what I'm doing, since this isn't a very high horsepower truck and I don't have budget on this truck to plop down the money for a really expensive drum. I'm doing what's called an ultimate Spragg from A&A Trans. I think there's another company that's called the Supreme Spragg or something like that. But it's a lot heavier duty. The little fingers are much heavier, and there's more of them. I think this one has 12 and this one has 16. And also this one bolts in, whereas that one just presses in. And it's got 6 bolts. There's also, A&A also sells a heavier duty 12 roller style, and it uses 4 bolts. But yeah, this is everything else. Here's the short style tail housing that comes on the RV and truck trans. The normal 727 will be really long, and of course this is a short output shaft too. And this part looks kind of weird. That's actually for an emergency brake that goes here, because a lot of those trucks, they didn't have an emergency brake on the rear axle. It was on the drive shaft right here. So that's what I've been working on the past couple of weeks. I'm still trying to get this ready for cruising the coast, and planning on being there with this truck. And then the gray truck, I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the year. I would like to have it done before hunting season. I don't get a lot of time to go hunting, but when I do, I would like to take that truck, because that's just what me and Dad have always used, is that truck, until I turned into a hot rod, and he got a little mad about that, but you know, it happens. But yeah, if you see this thing at Cruising the Coast, give me a shout, and keep watching this YouTube channel to see some more updates, and hopefully see some action out of these things.